Now they go together. My back.
Welcome to another driveway off project weekend. Here with Blakeup,
And
the Golden Toaster,
and
Mentos.
hey, I got him to do the intro. So we are back in a new week. This week is going to be a very messy weekend. What I've got planned is I've got some fiberglass, some other stuff in there, and that thing, and that one, the silver one. You could say that that's gonna go on the car, or you could say it's gonna go horribly wrong.
It's gonna go what?
Horribly wrong. But I've kind of got it all set up in my head. Once I get that bar down, I've got to do a few measurements. And I'll have a look at it for a little while, and then we'll start cutting stuff at least. But first things first, I've got to pull all that shit down to get the bar off. What's it stuck on?
Oh, this was like.
Oh. I was like, there's nothing. So, we've got the bars. I've done a few measurements, bits and pieces. Things are kind of looking alright. There's going to be a little bit of challenges, but what do you expect when you're putting a bar on a car that's not meant to go on that car? Some of the problems that we're going to run into is this is a Series 1 bar, which that is a Series 2. A little bit differences, like these lines and this line and the little bottom grill, even though we don't need that bit. We just need this top half, where that's got the line and mine's kind of shaven, quote unquote. So I can either chop up against this 90-degree angle here or chop up against that line. Which I think I'm gonna chop up against this line to get rid of these humps and whatnot. And this one chop up against that line, follow it all the way down. It's a pretty straight line. So with that one, another problem, because we're chopping against it's shorter than I was planning to chop against that bar. It'll be a little bit pushed in, but it should be fine. But yeah, so cutting, I'm just going to use a hacksaw blade. That's probably the best option. You could use an angle grinder, you could use a Dremel, but once it starts to get hot and melt, it's not going to cut. It's just going to keep filling the hole back up. We've been there, done that. So I think the best option is just to get a hacksaw and start chopping. Cal's here.
What's doing?
Cam's sleeping.
I ain't sleeping.
Alright, so I got the first bar done. Where is it? So that's chopped all the way down, exactly what I needed. That came out alright, so I can go down there for now. This one, I'm just going to chop all the way across this line and stitch it together. Simple. The other bar's now cut. The top of that one, now they go together. Little bit of problem as the FOS bar is a lot more boxier than the other bar. It's a bit more curved, so I think I'm going to have to chop a bit more off the top of it, and also the sides. It's a lot longer, if that makes sense. But I'll do a little bit more mucking around with it. I keep getting ideas and whatnot. But I think I'm going to have to trim a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is tack it in place. I've got staples, which I'll show you what they do soon. Staple it, trim, staple, trim. Once it's all nice, fiberglass. That's the easy part. So let's pray this works. what I've got here is, so these are like staples. They melt into the plastic. I've used these a fair bit. I really like them. They sound pretty dorky, but yeah. So what happens? You put one of these staples into this, which runs power through it, which heats it up, which then melts into the plastic. And what they remind me of is like your reinforcement in concrete and stuff, so it sits inside of it and whatnot. But you'll see me use them in a sec. I'll show you how they work. So I'm just going to find the middle to the middle and join them together. Oh. Pin, that's in there like that. Callum's here. And pressing the button, heating it up. And just letting it melt in. Should be alright. Kind of just melted in until you can't see it anymore. Let it cool down, hold it in the spot until it goes hard. Pull it out. Cool. As you can see, like that one's in.
We stay at the top one, which is generally for about 3 meters long, and you tension a diagonal wire, which is double wrapped, and then 3 wires with the cattle mesh.
How many voyages are you pushing, bro?
Melty boys.
Fucking, is that like a triple whap Clapton or what, man?
Yeah, alien. And now he's like, now I've seen it, I want a photo. It's like, I knew that was going to happen.
You're on the fog light.
I'm not touching it.
I touched the fog
I'm
light.
in line with it.
Which side? Sick.
Staples middled and the sides are stapled. All I gotta do now is just trim where they meet, staple them. I gotta add a bit because unless it'll cave in, which I want that flat to fit in between. Add it in, staple, and that's done. So we're getting there slowly. It is the next day. Paddy, Callum are here. Huh?
Yeah, you're being like mad.
It's alright.
Hey, there he is.
So last night, packed up at around midnight. You seen the one side get done? That was finished. All I had to do was this side, which I've done now. Same jazz, stitched it up, whatnot. Tried it on the car. Looks baller AF, but I won't show you until I'm kind of ready to put it on. But at the moment, it's going well. I think what I'm going to do next is I won't chop the sides off yet. I'll fiberglass the inside because that takes about 12 hours to dry. 12 hours to fully cure. So I'll do the inside and get that well underway before I do the outside with the putty. So this is fiberglass, the actual matting, which will help the inside as it's very strengthy if done correct. And it'll be on the inside because you can sand it, but you need a lot of it to actually sand down, where the inside I'm not looking for smoothness and whatnot. It'll just be there to hold it and plug up holes and whatnot. In this comes with instructions, the actual fibre mats, so that's fiberglass right there. Got the resin, hardener, gloves, definitely need gloves for fiberglass as it'll get into your skin and make you itchy. Mixing cup, brush, and that thing. How it works, you've got mixing cup, the resin, obviously the accounting hardener with the resin. You'll then brush it on to the bar, apply what you need with the fiberglass. With the remaining resin you've mixed up, soak the fiberglass while it's already on, get it nice and soft, soak it up, it'll sit there, and that's it, let it dry. So that's kind of the sequence of what's going on. Just soaking it up, letting it mold into all the spots it wants to go. I'm going to do the rest of this bar and I'll be back. I don't know if I'm going to have enough resin. I'll have to mix up more.
But there's a fair bit
Yeah.
all the way up to there. Section by section.
But yeah, I'll be back once it's all done. This is going to take a while. Alright, well that was a lengthy 2 hours of me standing here brushing and padding and getting shit stuck to everything. But we'll start from here. That was the first bit I did. That's it's a little bit tacky, but as you can see, it's all sunk in. I pushed most of the air bubbles out and whatnot. Moving along, gets a bit wetter, and then I ran out of resin. So I'm going to get some more. So I'll be back once I get more resin. Alright, it's the next day. Yesterday I did everything except for this side as I ran out of resin. So I've got some more and I'm just finishing it off. And I just cut up the rest of the fiberglass. I'll put the rest of it on. The other day when I recorded, if I sounded a bit not all there in the head, it's probably because I was lacking a lot of sleep. I've already put a good probably close to 12 hours into this. And it doesn't look the prettiest, but hey, there's a first for everything, isn't there? So what I'm doing now is just finishing this off. And I'll let it tack off a little bit. I'll flip it around and I'll start filling in the other side with the fiberglass putty. And then, yeah, once that's on, once I get that all nice and filled, I can sand that down, obviously make that nice and smooth, then bog it up, and then put some polyfill in it. And then that's ready for high fill or primer. So I've probably got a couple of days ahead of me. We'll see how I go. But yeah, I hope to get it on by this weekend. Because we don't have long till World Time Attack. Don't know if I've said that yet, but yeah, me, Paddy and Cameron are going World Time Attack in Sydney, 10th of October. I'll be there for the week, obviously doing some bits and pieces. Probably organise some more Shaz. I'll probably soak this way too much, but that's fine. But yeah, I think I'll be back once I finish this. My back. Alright, so I'm back finally. Been a couple days since you last seen. So what I did last, I finished off the fiberglass, got more resin, as I said I ran out. Used the rest of the sheets of fiberglass and then ran out of resin again. But I think the back of it's done. Like there's not much else I can do. I could probably put on more fiberglass, but should be right. So now what I've got to do is the front of it. I'll set it up out the front because it's very dusty once you start sanding it down. I think I'll do it out the front instead of in the garage. I apologise if there's any wind, which there's a little bit out there, but I'm not sure how it goes with this mic picking it up. So I'll get it all set up out there and you'll see me in a sec. Alright, so I've got all the bars set up on the stand. Fiberglass is all done. So I think there's about 2 layers all the way down. I used a bit too much resin, but should be right. It's first time doing it, and this is where I ran out, obviously, again. But here there's only got like 1 sheet, but it's still pretty hard. Very sweet though. So this is the outside. There's drips and stuff everywhere, but they'll sand off later. First thing I'm going to do is just trim off a bit more. Fine tune it, you know what I mean? Trim it all down nice. This is a bit of the bench that got stuck to it. Trim it down, and then what I need to do is I need to sand from about here to all the way to the top. Get in all the cracks, sand everything, because that's how the actual putty will stick to it nicely. So scuff up everything that I want the putty to stick to. And then yeah, start putting it in. Alright, well, it's all sanded down. There's fucking dust already going everywhere. I've done the best I could to get into all the nooks and crannies and whatnot. Probably do a little bit there more. But I need to try and get all this dust out of here, which I'm going to give it a good shake. Not sure how that's going to go. I'll give it a shake, and I don't know, I'll probably prep sol it. Just soak it in prep sol, pick it all up, you know what I mean? Try and help get all that dust out as possible. And then I can start fiberglass puttying, if that's the right word. Similar to bog, but it's a fiberglass structure to it. And then yeah, I'll show you how to do that once I got all the dust out. Alright, so this is the fiberglass filler. Kinda hard to see what it looks like, but it's just like sludge, you know. But it's fiberglass based. So got the fiberglass hardener, got an applicator. You can use anything with kind of a flat edge or similar to that. And what else I need? I need a board to mix it on. So I got bits of cardboard as well to mix it up on. They're only small, which sucks, but I don't really have anything else. So let's do this. Cardboard. Probably should use gloves for this. Alright. However much you desire. We'll start off with that. And the hardener, depends on the weather and whatnot, but you want about 10% of what's that. All depending on if it's a cold day, if it's a hot day, if you want it to go off quick or you want it to go off slow. It's kind of just give and tell. It's always better not to put as much as you think, just in case, because you don't want it to go hard and you're wasting whatever's on there. Put a little bit more, should be alright. And then just mix it together. So I'm going to try and do this one-handed because I've got the camera in the other hand. So you just want to get some, sun, go away. So we'll start with here, we'll just start filling in these bits. It's a bit hard doing it one-handed, but just just fill it up, you know what I mean? Looks like crushed up apples, what's it called? Apple crumble. Alright, so Melbourne just decided to rain for no apparent reason, but now the sun's back out and it's very cold now. But I got all the fiberglass in. I actually finished off the packet, which is surprising, and the bar's picked up a lot more weight now. Here looks pretty nice anyway. So I'm going to sand this down and kind of get to the shape I need. There's a few low spots, like here's a bit low, there's a bit low, and there's somewhere else, but I'll sand that down and then I'll put some bog in it to try and finish it off. Alright, well, all the fiberglass is rubbed down. I'm going to have to put bog over the top because there's a few spots I still have to fix up. As I said, they're still a bit low as well. I'm covered in dust. The garage is covered in dust. There's dust everywhere. Probably should have wore a mask, but I don't have one. So, this is where I'm at now. It's all rubbed down, kind of a rough shape. Obviously, these parts still need a bit of bog. That's why they're still low. But most of it's alright. So I think I'll just put the bit of bog in, and I'm gonna once I put the bog in, I'll probably have to go for a run up to Bunnings and buy some more sandpaper because I'm nearly out. So, yeah, let's try and get as much done before the sun goes down or it rains again because those clouds aren't looking promising, but they're going pretty quick. So I honestly have no fucking idea. Melbourne. There's no point even guessing. Got some body filler here, bog. Same jazz with the fiberglass. Get your cardboard. Get whatever you need. 10% hardener. And mix together. Pretty much exactly the same thing, just with like it's smoother. If you haven't seen bog, you've seen me put it in anyway. All the bog is in. I've just gone over the whole bar just to make it easier instead of doing it twice. It's all in. Alright, well, I'm back. The bar is pretty much done, all the bog. I end up rubbing back the bog, putting in the light fill, rubbing that down too. There's bits and pieces that I still need to go over, just little bits, but yeah, it's all not bad. Could be a lot better, but what do you expect when I chop something in half? But there's still little bits and pieces that need to go over that. So right now I'm about to rub down those little bits of 2-pack or not high fill, you know what I mean, rub that a little bit back, and I think I'm going to chop the sides off. So what I'm going to do, so obviously that's the proper bar, it sits out a bit long, so I think I'm going to chop just before this line, keep that. Hopefully, but I'm planning on putting the bar on today so you guys can see, and obviously I can see properly. It'll look very nice. I might just put it on and see where I can cut, which will be the best for me. So yeah, yeah. Everything's dusty. I'm very dusty. Everything's dirty. It's just shit everywhere. Like everything's just covered in dust now. But oh well, it's done. The hardest part, anyway, is done. So yeah, let's get it on and have a look-see. Alright, well it's pretty much on. I've got to cut the sides because they're actually hitting the wheel and I won't let it sit properly, but looks right at first glance. I've got to muck the Rio, I've got to muck around with that because the actual where the fog lights sit on the bar are hitting it, so I'll probably just chop the back of the fog lights off, not planning on running them anyway. And we'll go from there, so I'll do a couple more chopping. Alright, well, we've had the bar on, Cal's rocked up, gave me a quick hand. I'm well and truly pooped. It's been a big week for me anyway. Haven't stopped on this at all. But I think everything's done. I ended up chopping the sides off. I kind of fucked one side up, but don't worry about it. Chop behind the foggies. And I was going to chop the middle of the grill, but sorry, the lower grill. But it actually hides like one of the supports that go in front of the radiator, so I think I'll probably keep that on. So that's all done. In this video, I won't have it painted because I'm getting that done in the future. Not long, but in the future. I won't have time to put it in this video. Definitely check it out on our Instas. You'll see it popping up on screen. But I think that's it for this episode. It's definitely been a hard one. But thank you all for watching. Really does mean a lot. Hopefully you did learn something in this video, as this is my first proper custom thing I've done myself. Yeah, let me know how I went. Don't let me know what I did fuck up on, because I know what I fucked up on. Don't say anything. But till the next episode, leave a like if you did like, comment on how we did, subscribe if you want more, and we'll definitely see you next week.